Today we discuss section 4.5 prime factorization. In the last session we have seen what is a factorization into irreducibles. Now we know that if for a prime integer an element of z is said to be prime, that element p satisfies this condition. P divides m and implies either p divides m or p divides n. That's the definition of a prime number or ordinary prime number. So we adopt this definition to define an prime element, an abstract element. It is a prime if x divides m and implies either x divides m or x divides n. We use the same definition for prime number, prime element of a integral domain. Now we'll prove that a prime number in a domain D is always irreducible. Okay, uh, irreducible means there is no proper factorization. So by assuming the definition of prime number x divides a or x divides b whenever x divides ab, we'll prove that this x has no proper factorization. So first you assume that this x is an element of D, of course, it's a prime element. Then we will prove that there is no proper factorization for this x. For assume x equal to ab is a factorization of x. Then since this x is a prime, we can say that x divides ab implies either x divides a or x divides b. Okay, x divides a, so we need to prove that this is not a proper factorization. That means we need to prove that either a is a unit or b is a unit. This is what we have to prove. Unit. So from this you can write x divides x. We know that x divides x from this. Then x divides ab. X divides ab implies x divides a or x divides b, as this x is a prime element. So x divides a means this a can be written as some x into c. Okay, for some c belongs to D. So x can be written as x equal to x into uh, xcb, because x is ab here. Then this a can be replaced by xc. So this is x equal to xcb. By cancellation law, we can say that 1 is equal to ab. This is in fact x minus xcb equal to 0. This is x into 1 minus cb equal to 0. As this is an integral domain, we can say that this either x equal to 0 or 1 minus cb equal to 0. We know that x is a prime element. So a prime element means a non-zero non-unit is defined as prime element. Okay, so x is 0 is not possible because our assumption is x is a prime element. Okay, so 1 minus cb equal to 0. Then we can say that this c and b are units. Okay, in particular b is a unit. Okay, that means if x divides a, we have b is a unit. On the other way, if x divides b, we can get this a is a unit. That means whenever x divides a or x divides b, we have b is a unit or a is a unit. So whenever x equal to ab, we have a is a unit or b is a unit. This shows that x is an irreducible element, or x has no proper factorization. But we know that the converse of the theorem is not true, because if you consider z of consider the integral domain z of root minus 5. This is what we call the ring of integers of the quadratic field q of root minus 5. We know that this is not a proper this is not a unique factorization domain. That means factorization into irreducibles is not unique in z of root minus 5, because this 6 can be written as 2 into 3, that is equal to 1 minus root minus 5, 1 plus root minus 5. Okay, so this implies 2 divides these numbers, 1 minus root minus 5 into 1 plus root minus 5, but 2 does not divides each factor, 1 minus root minus 5 and 1 plus root minus 5, because whenever x divides y, we have because we norm of this 2 is 4 and norm of these any of these numbers is 6. Therefore, and whenever x divides y, we have n of x divides n of y. So that is not possible here because 2 and 4 are the norms. So we can say that 2 is an irreducible in z of root minus 5, but 2 is not a prime. So every irreducible is a prime will not be true in general. So we will discuss what are the structures that we give uh, irreducibles coincides with prime elements. That is what we have to discuss later. Next is a theorem, theorem 4.13. In every domain in which factorization into reducible is possible, that means we are considering only the integral domains in which factorization into irreducibles is possible. In that domains, we have this result. Factorization is unique if and only if every irreducible is a prime. So this is the characterization for unique factorization. Whenever a factorization into irreducibles is unique, we can if and only if you can say that the irreducibles coincides with prime. Okay, that means that factorization into irreducibles can be considered as factorization into prime elements. Okay, so factorization into irreducibles is unique if and only if every irreducible is a prime element. In fact, that factorization is factorization into uh, prime elements. Okay. So first we have to prove this theorem. We will consider this D is an integral domain. Then we write x equal to x is an element of D in which factorization is possible. Then we factorize this into irreducibles. That is x equal to uh, u times p1, p2, etc. pr. This is the general form because whenever you factorize 6, say 2 into 3 in z, you can write it as minus 2 into minus 3, uh, or you can write this as some unit u1 times 2 into u2 times 3. We can write so many expressions for equivalent expressions for the 6, but we will write this as u1 u2 into 2 into 3. Okay, we will write this units, all the units first, then we will write the irreducibles. There. So this x is this is what we have right here. It is convenient to rephrase the possibility of factorization for all non-zero x d as x equal to u into all the unit can be written in the first part of this product, then p1, p2, etc. pr. Okay. In this case, when r is equal to 1, you have x equal to up1. In case r equal to 0, we can consider this x as a unit, u itself. There is no irreducible factors here. Okay, so these are the convention. When r equal to 0, this is a unit, x is a unit. R is equal to 1, this is u into p1. And r is equal to 2, this is u into p1 into p2, where p1, p2 are irreducibles. Now, for the proof, we assume that the factorization is unique and P is an irreducible. We'll prove that P is a prime. Okay. In order to prove P is a prime, we'll consider P divides AB. We need to prove that either P divides A or P divides B. Then P divides AB means there exists an element C such that PC equal to AB. We need to consider only the trivial factorization, A not equal to 0, and non-trivial factorization, A not equal to 0 and B not equal to 0, which implies C not equal to 0. Okay. Then factorize A, B, C into irreducible. We can factorize all the elements of this integral domain. So A can be factored into these factors, similarly B and C. Now PC equal to AB implies PC equal to AB implies P times C can be written as U3, R1, R2, R3, etc. Rs equal to A is nothing but this one and B is this. So we have a product of irreducibles over here. Now we can say that this P is one of these PIs or QJs. This is because of the assumption that the factorization is unique. Okay, here we have a factorization into irreducibles, and this is another set of factorization into irreducibles. So once you choose a prime irreducible here, you can get the same irreducible from this. Okay, so you can say that there is a irreducible either pi or from qj, such that this p coincides with that. Okay, or this p is an associate of that. Okay, this shows that p divides either this or this factor. Okay, that means p divides a or p divides b. This shows that p is a prime element. Okay, so this is what we have to prove in the first part. Conversely, suppose that every irreducible is prime, and we will prove that every factorization into irreducible is unique. That means if you factorize an element x to this form, we can say that these two factorizations are same. In order to prove two factorizations are same, we need to prove that this m is same as n, and each pi is a associate of one of these. Okay, that means we need to get a permutation pi from 1 to 3 etc m to 1 to 3 etc n. Okay, we will prove this by induction. Induction on m, on this m. Okay, whenever m equal to 0, we will prove this. This is trivial. If m equal to 0, we have this is a unit, and similarly this is a unit. Whenever m is equal to 0, we can get x equal to u1. So x is unit, and this is a unit. This is a unit means this is also a unit. So we can write it as some u1 is equal to u2. Both are same. Okay, so the factorization is same. On the other way, we need to use the induction hypothesis. For that, we assume u1 p1 etc pm is equal to u2 q1 is equal to etc into qn. Then our assumption is, our induction assumption is, the result is true for all the integers which are less than m. Okay, and we will prove the result is true for m. Okay, so first we consider pm here. We know that pm divides this factor, then clearly pm divides this one. Okay, here pm is an irreducible. Our assumption is every irreducible is a prime. Then we can say that pm divides this factor. Okay, pm divides this factor means pm can be written as uh, some p, we can written as qn equal to pmu. This is because PM divides this factor means PM divides one of these factors. If PM divides U2, we can get PM is a unit. Okay, otherwise PM divides this QJ. Okay, that means the first of these possibility, PM divides U2. That means PM is a unit. We know that proposition for 3a as divisor of any unit is a unit itself. So we must conclude that PM is equal to Qj. Okay, one of these Qj's. Say we set this J as n. Okay, we can easily rearrange these factors because the factors our structure is integral domain. So multiplication is commutative. So we can collect or we can set J is equal to n. So Pm divides Qn, then Qn is equal to Pm into U, where U is a unit. So we can write U1. That means this Pm is a divisor of Qn means it's a factorization of Qn here. Okay, that means since Qn is irreducible, one of them should be a unit. So this U is a unit since Pm is not a unit. So we can write this expression 4.2 as U1, P1, etc. Pm equal to U2, Q1, Q2, etc. Qn minus 1 U into Pm. So you can cancel this Pm. Since this is an integral domain, you can cancel this Pm from these two factors. Then you can get U1, P1, etc. Pm minus 1. U2U, this can be considered as another unit U3 into Q1, Q2, etc. Qn minus 1. Now we have here the factors is m minus 1. So our induction hypothesis is the result is true for m is equal to every integer which is less than m. So this unique factorization is possible here because it's only m minus 1 factor. Then you can easily get a permutation from 1, 2, 3, etc. m minus 1 to 1, 2, 3, etc. n minus 1. Okay, this shows that m minus 1 is same as n minus 1. That implies m is equal to n. This is the first step. Okay, then we can adjoin this m here. M is mapped to n. Then you can get a permutation from 1, 2, 3, etc. n minus 1, comma m to 1, 2, 3, etc. N minus 1, comma n by adjoining m here and n here. So this can be extended to a permutation of m elements to n elements. Okay, because this m equal to n. So this shows that this factorization is unique in case of m. So this shows that our integral domain is a unique factorization domain. Now, a domain D is called unique factorization domain if factorization into irreducible is possible and unique. That factorization into irreducible is same as factorization into uh, prime elements. Okay, that means in a unique factorization domain, all irreducibles are primes. Now you can define highest common factor h of AB and least common multiple L of AB. The definition of HCF is h divides A, h divides B. If h prime divides A and B, then that h prime should divide this h. Okay, this is the definition of uh, highest common factor or HCF. Now, if A is the prime factorization of A is u1 p1 raised to e1 etc. pn raised to en, and the prime factorization of B is u2 p1 raised to f1 etc. pn raised to fn, then the HCF is defined as u into p1 pm p1 raised to m1 etc. Pn raised to mn. This p where u is any unit and mi is the minimum of these powers fi and ei. Okay, so when you set this mi in this manner, you can get h as the HCF of these two numbers. That means this h satisfies these two conditions. Then if you define this highest common factor, you can define co-prime elements. If A and B are co-prime, if LCM of HCF of this A and B should be one or any unit. Okay, the usual definition is A and B are said to be co-prime, then GCD of A comma B is 1. Here GCD means highest common factor or greatest common divisor. That should be 1. Here the definition is the highest common factor is 1 or a unit. Okay, that is the definition of co-prime elements. Now you can define lowest common multiple, or least common multiple, both are same. L of AB, that is defined as A divides L and B divides L. If whenever A divides L prime, B divides L prime, then you can say that this L divides L prime. Okay, this is the definition of least or lowest common multiple of A and B. Okay, so in order to get or calculate the LCM or least common multiple, we need to collect the powers of when A is here we define A here. A is equal to u1 p1 raised to e1 etc. pn raised to n. B is this manner. Then the LCM is obtained by taking the maximum of these ei and fi. Okay, if we set this ki as the maximum of ei and fi, then you can get this L is the lowest common multiple of A and B. This is section 4.5. Next we will discuss section 4.6 in the next class. So that deals with the study of Euclidean domains.